the Packers themselves are going to have to make some tough decisions too. Rodgers might restructure. I think honestly, Rodgers needs to restructure. And they're gonna have some cap casualties. They might move on from some guys, but give me your thoughts real quick on the Packers free agency situation. What you think they might do, moves they might make, and how you see it shaping up possibly once we get around into the thick of it.
It's tough. It's really tough because they are projected from Kenny Ingles. His @ is Ken Ingle, INGALLS. He does a bunch of Packers cap stuff, Packers prediction cap, everything like that. He's awesome. I love following him. But he's projecting around $32 million over the cap. So there's a lot of tough decisions. Like you said, there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to be made. The four main guys that are going to be looking to they could be cap casualties. Preston Smith, Dean Lowry, Rick Wagner, and Christian Kirksey. So all three of those guys I could see potentially being cut to try and move toward the cap. One guy that I would think out of those four would restructure is Preston Smith. Yeah. He just seems like he has a lot of fun playing here. Yeah. And I don't think he wants to play away from Zadarius Smith. They just seem like they have too good a bond, you know?
Yeah. The Smith bros.
It's the Smith brothers. Yeah. It's the Smith brothers. You can't split them up. So I mean, those guys. They definitely could be cap casualties. And it would suck,
but Luigi did eventually get his own video game. It wasn't very good.
You're not wrong.
It wasn't very good, but yeah, he did eventually, and even Waluigi got one. But the thing is, the thing that's interesting about that is like, I know he would probably want to stay, but like as a fan, I really need to see more of Gary. You know,
I think in the last from week 10 on, he was at like 18% for a pressure rate. Insane. That's what he was doing in Michigan, and everyone was like, oh, he doesn't have sack numbers. Well, you don't need sack numbers when you're pressuring the quarterback at 18% of passing plays. It's insane. He's so good.
And when you really think about how they were using him at Michigan, they weren't really concerned with him getting any sacks. And I mean, this year his sack numbers jumped. He also has now he's starting to get that knack for big time pressures. You know what I'm saying? Like on third down, or when they really need a stop, or when they really need a sack, or they need a big play, he's starting to come into his own and become that guy who makes plays. And that's what it's about. It's not just about sacks. It's not just about pressure. It's about making plays. You can get a sack on second down, and then they convert, but on third down or on fourth down, I believe he had pressure. He was the guy that got pressure on Brady on most of those interceptions. I feel like it was Gary who got the pressure, who forced Brady to make those bad plays. So I mean, and that's also another interesting conversation, I guess, that they're going to have to sit down with their new defensive coordinator, Joe Barry. Any thoughts on Joe Barry, real quick, about that hire for defensive coordinator?
I mean, okay, so to be completely honest, when Matt LaFleur got hired, I was like, I don't really know about that. Like, look at his success in Tennessee. It wasn't great. And then, he comes out and wins 13 games 2 years in a row, gets to the NFC Championship game. So I don't want to make snap decisions because I was so wrong on that. But Joe Barry was a defensive coordinator twice already. Yeah. Matt LaFleur was never a head coach. So, I mean, that's one difference. And I think that we have similar pieces on the defense that can match up well with what they were running with the Rams. Because we have a lockdown corner in Jair Alexander who's going to be able to follow like Jalen Ramsey was. We have a very, very good defensive tackle in Kenny Clark who's going to be able to move around. I think that there's a lot of similarities that are going to be able to work through with the defense. We'll have to see. I don't know how I feel about it still, but I mean, I wasn't thrilled when they said Joe Barry, but we'll have to see. I don't want to judge it too quick, but yeah, I wasn't super excited about it.
Well, the first guy turned it down. The guy from Wisconsin, who a lot of people were big on, right? He kind of turned it down, which is interesting. I'm like curious, like why he turned that job down. I'm like thinking, why would you turn that down? I mean, I didn't know much about him. His Wisconsin defenses were really good, and that's with like kind of getting the, I don't want to say like the leftover talent, but I mean, in the Big Ten, Michigan, Ohio State is going to get most of the talent. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of the like lower tier schools for sure in college football. So I mean, he's doing more with less.
Exactly. I think he's doing. I mean, I wouldn't say lower tier schools. I'm just saying I think Wisconsin's always pretty competitive. I mean, they're kind of always in that conversation. But yes, they, as far as even in their own division, right, or conference, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like they're not going to be getting the cream of the crop. They're not going to be getting those five. Now, maybe on the offensive line, but on defense, they're not going to be getting the top cornerbacks and the best linebackers and the best safeties. So, yeah, I mean, look, and another one of my followers says, hey, man, the optimism needs to be labeled with caution. Content may be hot. So, we don't know about what he's going to do, Barry, but, I mean, we could just hope that his third time is a charm. Third time's a charm, third year for Matt LaFleur. Maybe next year it all just comes together and the Packers can finally, get over that fucking hump. So.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.